Hi everyone, welcome to my little review of the DJI Osmo 3. This is the first action cam I've ever bought. Hopefully you can see that. It's a lovely little camera, and I just wanted to kind of talk through my initial thoughts, what I like about it, what I dislike. There's not too many of those, so you can see that's already positive. So I'm just going to put that back away in its little case. So I wanted to talk about that, show you some examples, talk about things like battery life filters, that kind of thing. So please follow me on this little video. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the battery life. So on the Osmo, I'll keep it out of its case. So on the Osmo itself, the battery's okay. It's currently on 100% because I've obviously charged it. But I definitely recommend the battery handle. I'll put a little link to the separate video for the unboxing for that. But the battery handle, which you can see here, it's currently in a separate little case. So that separate little case, actually, sorry, it's not a separate little case. It's the holder for different mounting points from Tilta. And I've got the battery handle. Now, I've done an unboxing, obviously. I'll link to that above somewhere. But that gives you, I think, another 60% of the battery, something like that. But it clicks on really easily, just like that. And then it tells you the battery level of both, but also, if it wasn't, sorry, I'm not going to take it out of this, but you can see the distance of the battery grip. It's much bigger. There is a grip which has got nothing to do with the battery, but I want to show you that anyway for the little DJI bag. So you got this handle, the DJI handle for the Osmo 3. It's tiny compared to the actual battery grip. It gives you a lot more life. And it's a really nice kind of solid unit. It clicks into place. The connections between the Osmo and the battery grip and the Osmo and the handle that comes with it as standard is kind of okay, but it's kind of the weakest point, I think. But if you're going to mount it on a car or mount it to something like a boom arm for doing kind of jib shots, you want to get the Tilta case. But I'll put a link in the description somewhere for that. The battery life on this is pretty decent. For every lens you have, whether it's expensive or relatively cheap, you definitely want a Hoya filter or something, a piece of glass to protect the lens itself, because the lenses are expensive. If you're working on a budget like I used to be, and I'm kind of just above what I used to, buy secondhand lenses, that kind of thing, I'd always put a filter on the front to protect it. A very good friend of mine, when we were filming a music video, his A7S with a really expensive Sony lens on was saved purely by the ND he had on the front, and the ND shattered, but the lens was protected. So the same principle with this little filter here is a mist. It's like a Pro Mist from Tiffin, but it's from K&F, and it's a 1/8 strength. And I'll put some examples up here of what it does. It kind of diffuses the light a little bit. It softens everything. There's a bit of halation with it as well. But the reason to get this is to protect the front of this. So if you're mounting this on a car or using it, you might knock it. The filter will protect the lens. And this does a really good job. And the good thing with this is I've not turned this into, I've not kind of softened the footage at all, because you're supposed to normally, or a lot of people recommend taking 2 steps down in the softness to the sharpness to -2 in the camera, but I've not done that because the Pro Mist will actually do that for you. So it'll soften everything a little bit, but it'll also protect the camera, protect the lens. So I definitely recommend the mist filter from K&F, at least in the UK, and it's a 1/8 strength. The other filters I'd absolutely recommend, I'd say is a must, apart from the mist itself, is when you're shooting outside, you need NDs. NDs help protect the camera, the lens, again, like the filter I talked to you about before. But the NDs will actually bring down the exposure of what you... Basically, you won't have to shoot at a higher shutter speed. You should always double up. So if you're shooting at 25 frames a second, shutter speed should be 50. But if you're shooting outside and you've got no NDs, you'll have to shoot at a much higher shutter speed, and your image won't be as nice, so it won't look right. Hopefully that's the best way to explain it. Probably not. Leave a comment. So in the DJI official bag, I've kept the my filters, all NDs. So I've got a full set. I'll link that in the description here, or I'll link that on the screen here for the unboxing. But these are KNF, PL and NDs. Too small for this video. But really lovely filter. And you can turn the PL so you can take the shine off water, look through screens, take reflections off. They're really lovely. But these are must-have filters because they'll protect the the lens again, and you'll also get better results from your video. So I'm going to just play a little clip in a sec. This is a really important one, and this is the built-in microphone audio, because you think, do I get the there's one of the kits that comes with the DJI mic, but initially I bought all these accessories so I can mount them on a car, and I couldn't afford to buy the bigger kit. And the actual built-in audio is quite surprising, so I'm just going to play this clip now. That audio from that clip was in quite a big room, and the band was quite loud. Really surprised how good the audio is. I'll just play another clip. This is a friend and I at a corporate gig on the way there, and I was just filming little bits here, and the shots aren't great, but you'll get an idea of the audio in a car.
A bit worried that it's going to be too noisy for the interviews because...
Really? Oh no, as soon as you get a lapel mic
really,
on, I'm really surprised and really chuffed to bits, as we say in the UK, with how good the audio is on the straight out of the box on the DJI Osmo 3. It's a lovely feature, and you don't really need an additional microphone unless you're doing more kind of enhanced vlogs and you want clearer audio. I just wanted this kind of vlog style where it's super simple, don't have to put a mic on or anything like that. So I'm really chuffed with the built-in audio on this camera. One little thing I found, which was a bit of a user error, so this is on me more than anything else rather than the camera, was the focusing. So sometimes when I'm doing a big shot or moving in a room and there's loads of objects, my focus is off because I didn't choose the area I wanted to focus on, because I want to shoot this on manual. The best way to get the best results out of this is obviously D-Log and all of that, but also for focusing, because you're on an equivalent of a 20mm lens f2. So if you don't have something focused, if you don't have the area you want in focus, it looks off, it looks muddy. I'll show a couple of examples here, and as you can see here, this where I wanted to focus, I didn't think about that. I was just thinking about the camera move. So you've got to be really careful with your focusing with this camera. But if you get it right and don't make the mistakes I made, you'll have great results. If you'd like to see an unboxing, I've got a link here. I just did a really simple unboxing. I've got a C-stand here and a little arm. I shot this on my iPhone. So if you want to check out a full unboxing of the camera, here it is. So I've only bought a few. Let's take it off here. I love keeping that battery handle inside that tilter mount, but I've only bought a few accessories for this because it's relatively expensive camera, but great results with it, so it's kind of worth the money, I think. But I get the official bag. One of the bundles does come with a bag. It's really nice. You can't put a huge amount of accessories in. You can't put the mount like this, but I get the battery handle. Definitely get the battery handle like we talked about before. The filters, the KNF filters, which are in the early part of the video. And if you're going to get any mount for the car, which I'll show you a link to that here, is the Tilta suction cup, which is really terrific. And the arm that comes with the kit is really solid. I'll show you a video of what the mount looks like on my car. This is just an early shot, an early test. I've only had this just under a week, or 5 or 6 days. So I wanted to kind of show you some examples, but this is a really solid unit. And I'll put it together. I'll quickly put that together. So click that back in there. So there's little holes in the mount, obviously, in the arm. You want to kind of tighten that even more. But when it's kind of on the car, it's really solid. So really lovely mount. Really lovely kind of accessory. So that's a very specific accessory. So the only one I'd really recommend is the battery handle and the bag, probably. And get all the filters as well, if you can afford it. The purpose for me buying this camera was to shoot very discreetly in city centres. And for the documentary feature I'm making called Queering Blackpool, it needs to be very discreet where I filmed. I've got permission to shoot in all the shots, but in all the locations, but places like the train station in Blackpool, I wanted to be really discreet. So something so small like this, people aren't going to assume you're making anything kind of big and serious, so you won't get approached by authorities. So it's dead straightforward. The picture profile, this long waffle, definitely go for D-Log M. Hope if I've not said that correctly, I'll put it up on the screen. But I want to show you some before and after shots, and I'll talk over those now. But this is the log outside and inside at this conference. But as you can see before, it's really nice. You can, with some log profiles, it's really difficult to kind of shoot initially in the grey screen, and if you don't have a monitor that shows you a LUT on top, it can be difficult. But the D-Log M for the Osmo Pocket 3 is really lovely to work with. I grade with a micro color panel from DJI. I did a video about that recently. I'll kind of put a link to that. But really lovely to kind of grade, and as you can see from these clips of before and after, you get some fantastic results with this. So shoot like you're shooting a proper film with this. You can do vlogs and you can do everything dead easy, but if you want to shoot some really cinematic stuff, cinematic as everyone says, just be a little bit more prepared than you think. One of the key things I wanted to talk about was how easy it was to use. I looked at a couple of YouTube videos as we all do, but to use this was dead simple. You can set it so it records straight away when you turn the screen. When you turn this and you press continue, you can shoot 3K vertical or portrait, sorry, and then you hold down the record button to turn it off, and it folds in itself. It's so easy to use, so you can't go wrong really. It's just a bit of practice, because a lot of people buy the camera, just do videos on it like I've done here. But you want to kind of practice as much as you can with the camera, and you get some great results, and it is really simple to use. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the boom arm opportunities. So if you've got it set up like this and you've got a case that's really solid and rigid, you can also use a boom arm if you've got the right screw holes. Use this as a boom arm. This is a newer carbon fiber boom arm, but you can use this and then stretch this over 3 meters, so really high. I'll show you some examples here, so you can get some beautiful results. And with a bit of practice, you can, you don't need a jib arm. If you're doing something on a budget and you've got a small crew and you want to do things yourself, like I am at the moment, something like that is dead simple to use and very discreet. And it doesn't save, you don't have to set up a load of equipment to get some really nice jib shots like here. This records in 4K in landscape, but 3K in portrait. When you turn it, press continue, like I said before, it switches to 3K. Now, I want to see if I can rotate this so I can shoot the 4K in portrait. I'm not sure how to do that yet. You might leave a comment, you might know how to do it. But I haven't checked out any other reviews or anything, so I just want to figure out how to do that, and then we'll get some kind of 4K portraits. I don't like the idea of the 3K. I think just the crop in of the 16:9, but I'd rather use the full kind of sensor. My experience with the DJI Mimo app has been relatively straightforward. It's very simple. I logged in my DJI account that I've had before for my DJI Mavic Air, because I've not upgraded my drone yet. But it's been really great. Connecting to the app is essential, because if you're doing car shots or remote stuff or jib arm stuff, you want to be able to connect to this and see on the screen on your phone what the results are. The latency it's like really minimal kind of lag, so really kind of impressed with that. So I connect that to my iPhone, and then get some great results. And it's the only way to do it really. If you're doing some sort of like car mount stuff like I am with this, and do bike roller videos, you need to use the DJI Mimo app, and you have to really to set it up properly. DJI Mimo app is really nice piece of software, and yeah, hopefully they'll get some improvements, because things like the big rotation shot, which I love, which you can do with other DJI gimbals for the bigger cameras, like the old Ronin S. Like in suitcase mode, when it rotates, I'll show you what I'm talking about now. It's nice, but I wish you can do in the app, on the Mimo app, you could just ramp down so it doesn't like turn and stop. I'd like it when it just turns like that and naturally goes into the final position. So you can see what I'm talking about here. Hopefully there'll be improvements in the software on the cameras, and the app itself as well. But the app overall is pretty decent. So my final thoughts on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is it's a must-have. It's a must-have if you're doing vlogs. If you're working on your own on vlog stuff, it's a really beautiful, beautiful camera. But I'm using this in a more kind of professional way. It sounds kind of patronizing, but it's not a professional way. It is a professional way, but I'm adding it to my arsenal. So this is essentially my C camera. I'm adding this to my arsenal so I can film discreetly in places for my documentary. So I think it'll come in really handy for that. The fact they can shoot it in log is really lovely. So I can try and match it to my Blackmagic 6K Pro footage, because I shoot in with DZO film lenses as well. So I want to try and match that as much as possible. And with the mist filter, which is really lovely, I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. And you can also tether it you can broadcast with this as a live camera. So I'm quite impressed with this. I'm impressed with the accessories. If you do get one, the little battery handle in here, you've got to get the DJI battery handle. If you're getting one of these, get that anyway. Get one of the kits. Sorry about itching my eye. I absolutely love this camera. If you've got the money and you need a vlog camera, get the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and it'll be worth every penny. So thanks for checking out my video. Please like and subscribe if you can. Hopefully I've not waffled on too much. If there's any particular videos you'd like to see with me filming with this, or scenarios, things like that, please let me know. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's @AlexanderBlackburn. And yeah, please like and subscribe, as I said before. So have a good night. Bye-bye.